Live on FanCred. Do not adjust your computer screen. That's right. To my, let's see, left, the right of your screen is the return to Boston sports, if you will, of Nick Cattles here on Fourth Quarter live from Virginia Beach, watching on his NBA League Pass like he does, I'd imagine, most nights with the Boston Celtics. They lead by 7 here in the fourth quarter over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cattles, what's up? Long time no see.
Jonesy, we're back, baby. We're back in different states. Who thought it would be possible? What is up? I don't know. A whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if you want to start with this game, if you want to start with life. I don't know where you want to go with this tonight.
Well, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open it up to everybody out there on the fan line, upper right-hand corner of your screen. You tell us where you want to go. We got questions about the game, of course. We can catch up with Nick. We got big picture stuff on the Celtics. I want to hear Cattles' takeaways on a couple of things. Celtics are playing well again tonight without Kyrie Irving, interestingly enough. So we'll get all his thoughts on how the Celtics have gone so far this season. But let's start with the game. Celtics up by 7. Again, no Kyrie. Tatum's had a big night tonight. Jalen turned it on a little bit in the third quarter. What do you think of the game tonight?
Yeah, I think Jalen and Tatum have been the leaders of this game. The ball movement was a little bit better in the second half so far up to this point. I thought defensively in the first half, they had a really tough time closing out on threes, which has been an issue from time to time with this team. They gave up a few threes to Nick Stauskas, who's still apparently in the league. I was unaware of that. And Colin Sexton knocked down a 3 or 2. So their three-point defense left a lot to be desired in the first half. But I feel like this is one of those games, Jonesy, when you watch it, it's like one of those things where I don't want to say they're cruising, but they're comfortably ahead, and it feels like they know they should win this game, which scares the shit out of me.
Oh, so I was just going to ask. I was just going to set you up and say, do you want to get like a curse out of your system? But you're just doing it.
I'm there. Hey, listen, you're the only guy
ready to go. You're just cutting loose.
You're the only guy who got me to curse on the air live. You're the one. You're the one.
It's never happened with anybody else.
Only you, Jonesy. Only you.
Yeah. What do you got? It's a special skill I have. What are you gonna do? So Clarkson knocks down a couple of free throws here. We got a 5-point game about 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. Again, you got questions? Fan line, upper right hand corner of your screen. The chat is already going, Cattles, and I'll. Well, let's give you a few of these things. You ready? Let's see.
I'm ready.
We have oh Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's for the combination of you and I. We got a yes.
Hold on.
Yes with a lot of extra S's.
Was that a good oh Jesus Christ, or was that a oh Jesus Christ?
I can't tell. Maybe okay. Ron can follow up on that. Jeff just says, "Holy shit, it's Jones and Cattles," with a bunch of embarrassed faces, like the embarrassed emoji.
Wow.
Gene says the boys are back, LOL. And Ron actually says this effing guy. So Ron clearly gets it. Ron understands what's going on here tonight. But yes, again, it is Jones and Cattles reunited here. Fourth quarter live. They gave us a doozy here, Celtics and Cavaliers. So Tatum, by the way, I don't think scored in that third quarter. Is that correct? He had 21 at halftime. He had the jumper just after the buzzer that did not count. And then Sexton went off a little bit in that third quarter. So you have the young guys going back and forth a little bit. But I do like seeing Tatum stepping up when Irving's out. And I feel like he has struggled, and we've talked about this before, last season. He struggles to know when to go and when not to go when Kyrie's on the floor. And I think you really notice it in the absence of Kyrie tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's not only with Tatum. I think Hayward looks a lot more comfortable too without Irving on the floor. He likes the basketball in his hands. And I think Tatum, from his side, he doesn't feel like – I'm not saying that Irving will look down on him or give him shit for not giving him the ball, but you can see that there is a little bit of ease to Tatum's game. He's a little bit more relaxed. He's a little bit more comfortable. I think he feels like he's got the power to make the move when he wants to make the move. He's not having to look across the floor to Kyrie for almost acceptance. They've got that big brother, little brother kind of feel. And O'Connor wrote about that on The Ringer a few weeks ago about how people think Irving's only friend on this team consistently has been Tatum. So they have that kind of big brother, little brother thing happening. So I feel like Tatum looks towards Irving every once in a while to make sure he's doing the right things. When Irving's not out there, he's kind of got the shackles off a little bit, and he does him.
Jesse, or no, excuse me. Who is this? It's David wants us to start arguing. Damn it, is something that he wants out of us. It'll happen. It'll happen. Don't worry about it. So you mentioned the shackles are off without Kyrie, and I would agree. And again, you have to weigh it all out based on the opponent too. It's not like they're playing the Warriors or the Bucks or someone like that. But Tatum looks unshackled. I would agree with that. What's been your stance all year long on Kyrie watching from afar? I'd imagine, you're still plugged in Boston. You still follow it closely. He has been a pariah, to put it mildly, in Boston. Yeah. I'm curious your view on him from afar. As yikes, tough interior defense there. Is Brad calling a timeout? Did Brad throw a pulse and call? Brad knows he has timeouts? Yeah.
It's a 3-point game. As I said about 3 minutes ago, it had the feel that the Celtics were just kind of cruising along, feeling like they could win this game at any time, and that scared the shit out of me. This is why now it's a one-possession game, a timeout. That was a big issue, by the way, in the first half of this game. Interior defense, the Cavaliers, I think they scored like 10 out of their first 13 points in the paint. They were getting everything inside. To get back to Kyrie.
Hang on one sec. So they're as you mentioned, the interior defense struggling. And Kevin Love hasn't done squat. Kevin Love's 1 for 10. Love is 1 for 10 in this game. Not that he's like an interior presence necessarily, but they've held him in check, and still they've struggled against Sexton and others. So your point on Kyrie.
Yeah, so Kyrie, I feel like I've gone through the different stages with Kyrie this year. Like at first, I said to myself, all right, he's 26. He didn't have a full season last year as a leader, quote unquote. It's going to take him some time to grow into it. So I feel like the first couple of things he said, I almost gave him the benefit of the doubt and I gave him a pass. But as the year goes on and the more stuff he does, I do get frustrated by what he has to say. Now, I'm not going to tell you this team is better without him because I think we've got to see the playoffs happen before I'm about to make that judgment. I think once you get to the playoffs and it's a 7-game series, you figure out how to stop guys. And the better guys are, the more that they are, they're able to acclimate to the series and adjust to what the team is doing to them, and they're able to close out like Irving does. So I think we still need to see the postseason, but I think he's been an absolute shit show when it comes to trying to be the leader of this team. And the Charlotte game is the perfect example. Listen, he's not wrong, Jonesy. He's not wrong. Trap Kemba, double Kemba, get the ball out of Kemba's hands. But you don't have to say it publicly. There's no reason to publicly throw your coach under the bus by saying, oh, well, every other team doubles him or traps him, and we didn't. We always get toasted by him. Like, there's no reason to say that publicly.
How do you feel from afar about the relationship there with Brad Stevens? Like, obviously, this is an example of him throwing Stevens under the bus. Not the first time he's done it this year. It doesn't seem like – and look, maybe this is just Kyrie. Like, maybe you could give Kyrie – Red Auerbach or Phil Jackson or someone, and he wouldn't respect them, but doesn't seem like he really respects the acumen of Brad Stevens, and maybe he wouldn't with anyone.
Yeah, how I feel is the more I watch him, the more I think that he learned a lot from LeBron, and you know how I feel about LeBron.
Oh yeah,
some of the same things. Which listen, I hate saying that about a guy that plays on the team that I root for and grew up watching and all that stuff. But it's just true. It's obvious. It's the objective look at things, which is to say, the histrionics on the floor towards his teammates when they do something he doesn't like, the slight jabs to his teammates and to the coaching staff after games, how he's so mercurial. Nice jump shot by Hayward. It doesn't go down though, but he's he's so like mercurial, he's very moody, and that comes from LeBron. And you got to remember, he watched LeBron, and even if it's subconscious or it's consciously, he picked up some of those things, I believe. And so, now you have some of those bad tendencies, and there's a 3 to tie the game at 92 apiece.
Marquise Chris. Not
of all people, Marquise Chris.
Not great when Marquise Chris is lighting you up with dunks and threes. Your boy Horford settles it down a little bit.
In the face a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Was that Ibaka?
Say it again.
Was it Ibaka?
It was Ibaka. It was Serge Ibaka out there throwing hands with him. Yeah. So Horford settles it down. As Horford is wont to do. Again, Celtics in much too close of a game. By the way, I want full on in studio. like for those of you who don't know, and again, if you want to chime in, upper right-hand corner of your screen is the fan line. Jones and Cattles reunited, fourth quarter live here on FanCred with the Celtics up only 2 on the Cavaliers. But for those of you who don't know, during Celtics games and Bruins games for that matter, Nick and I were just sitting there. We have nothing to do. We're just watching games. I want the full on I want the whole thing, Cattles. I want the whole. I want the full Cattles during this Celtics game. I want the full on reactions while we're getting it. That's what I want.
Oh, you'll get it.
Okay.
There's no doubt you'll get it. Nice steal by Hayward. You'll get that. Hayward's got to finish this. Got to finish it, and he does. I did like in the first half, Hayward took it to the basket and dunked it with both hands. I don't know if it was off the right or left leg, but that was nice to see him get in the paint.
Late in that second quarter, yeah. I mean, it was the one where he kind of had the little up fake and then went to the hoop.
How about this one on the chat? I missed the opening of the Cattle show. I actually kept my same open from up there to down here. Larry Nance hits that. Yeah, fuck off. So, like if Larry Nance is hitting threes, give me a break with that. So I'm glad he front rimmed it.
What's worse, Baines hitting threes or Larry Nance hitting threes? I wouldn't say there's much of a difference there.
I think Baines, you got to feel worse because just the form, like how he keeps the leg in front of the other leg, it tells you it shouldn't go in.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Okay, here's my issue, and I say this all the time when they get down to the final 5 or 6 minutes of a game, when they have the upper hand with Horford, they have to get him the ball in the block. And they're doing it right now. He traveled on that.
That was a travel?
He traveled on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it was I got to see it again. Hold on. One. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he moved.
Wait, so you got a replay. We didn't get a replay here on NBC Sports Boston.
Oh, yeah, Cavaliers. I'm watching the Cavaliers game. And by the way, they took the shot already at Kyrie saying, it was about the beginning of the third quarter saying, oh, well, you can see why they're 10-2 without Kyrie on the floor. They just shot at their former guy. But get the ball to Horford on the block. One of the biggest possessions in that Philly game that drove me nuts, Jonesy, was Horford had Redick on his back in the paint.
Wait, let me guess. Who gunned? Was it Morris or was it Smart or was it Kyrie? They all gunned in that game.
Actually, it was Horford had the ball. I don't even remember who took the shot. But Horford had back to the basket, backing Redick down, and he kicks it out.
Okay.
It's like, I get Al's the ultimate team player, and I'm one of the guys, as you know, you and I went at it a number of times about Horford.
Yep.
I love his game and what he does for this team. But when you have J.J. Redick trying to defend you on the block, you got to take him. You got to take him to the basket. You can't be kicking it out. Don't tell me it was an open three. I couldn't care less. You got J.J. Redick on you. Redick can't defend you, Jones.
Redick definitely couldn't defend real crafty left hand on me. So Redick definitely couldn't defend me.
Knock it down, Morris.
No.
He's been bad offensively, man.
So while you're bringing up Morris, because we talked about this a little bit before we got going, you think Jalen should be starting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought so. I thought the move.
Stop it with yeah for a second, because I think most people agree with that. Why do you think he's not? Like, what reason do you think Brad possibly has to not be starting him? Like, what could his logic possibly be?
I honestly think that he is scared of having Brown and Tatum out there starting a game and having a bad defense and letting the floodgates open. That's the only thing I can think of is that, listen, I love Tatum as a player. He does a lot really well. But he struggles sometimes with details, especially on the defensive end. He'll miss assignments. He'll get hung up on screens. And Jalen kind of has the same issues from time to time. So I think Brad, in his head, he'd rather get off to a good first 6 minutes. And then he'll adjust as time goes. He's a big fan of saying, well, I'm worried about the final 42 minutes, he said the other day, than the first 6. And I get that point.
Right.
But you do reach a point with the way they've kind of –
something. Right? You got to do something.
Yeah. Theo would say it's a malaise, right? Like that was his word. When you get into the malaise and you lose 4 or 5 in a row, you've got to change something.
So I have a theory on Jalen. I'm sure you've missed my theories. My theory is, Brett, and there's Marcus. That's my guy. That's my guy right there with that layup. That's a nice. My theory on Jalen, I don't know how well liked he is by his teammates, and I wonder if Brad knows that if he lets Jalen into the starting lineup, you get a little sag out of the rest of the crew. Well, what are your thoughts on that theory? Ooh. Am I back? Hello? Are we back? Is it just me? I can't tell if I'm on with anybody else. Let's see here. It's just me, I'm being told. Okay, great. I thought maybe we lost me. Apparently we lost Cattles here. So, just Jones flying solo here on Fourth Quarter Live. We'll get Cattles back. Who knows what internet connections are like down in Virginia Beach. You gotta work with things a little bit. Maybe let the cable bill lapse.
Yo, you got me?
I gotcha. Great. Okay, you're back. I thought I dropped. That was dropped. I think I did like a mini freak out that I'm guessing everybody could see me do my mini freak out where I was like, oh, I gotta get back on there.
What I did though, I gave a solid 90 seconds of play-by-play and game breakdown while you were gone. I'm like, I carried the show like usual when I was with Jones, but now I was blacked out.
Wait, so what happened? So was I gone, then you were gone?
I have no idea, but we're back together again. That's all that counts.
Apparently we're back. Anyways, I blamed your internet connection down there in Virginia Beach. That's what I did. So I was asking you, and you guys can weigh in again. Fan line, upper right hand corner of your screen here on Fourth Quarter Live. I was asking you what you thought of my Jaylen Brown theory. I don't know how much of it you heard. My theory is I wonder if Brad won't put him in there because he knows that he's not the most popular teammate right now, and letting him in could cause a little friction in the locker room.
See, I don't know if Jalen's a bad teammate or not.
I don't know if he's a bad teammate. I just don't know how well liked he is. That doesn't necessarily make him a bad teammate. It just means
what makes you say that?
Because every time there's an incident, he's the center of it. It's Marcus Morris shoving him. It's Marcus Smart clapping at him in the corner and freaking out on him. It's Kyrie calling out all the young players, and then Jalen's the only one who responds. Like, he's just been in the middle of a lot of stuff this year.
You know what I see? I see a guy who's young but doesn't want to – not that he doesn't want to take the coaching, but I think Jalen has a lot of pride. And I think Jalen – and that's why he's, an executive with the Players Union now, and he tries to take a lead role. I think that's, I think that's why you have some of these issues. I think sometimes he might feel like guys are kind of fronting him a little bit, which is not the best reaction to it. But I think he's a prideful guy. He's a smart guy. And he's not just going to take the whole, hey, you're a young guy, so listen to me kind of tactic. I think Jason Tatum is a little bit more open when it comes to that. And, I try to look at it from Jalen's point of view as well. He was the guy before Tatum. He was the young guy, and then Tatum came in. He kind of took a back seat, even though he had a good year. Everybody was talking about Tatum. He helped, lead the team to the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And then he comes out this year, and he's the guy that ends up getting sent to the bench, which, by the way, I thought was the right move. But I think, again, he's a man with a ton of pride, and I think that can sometimes get in the way. That's something where I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, where he has some issues, no doubt, and he's in the middle of stuff. But I also think for him, it's going to be a maturity thing, and I think it might take him a couple of years to kind of figure it all out.
So let me ask you this. We got 5.5 to go. Celtics are up 6. They've been up basically the entire game. Cavs took a brief lead in the third quarter, but Celtics basically have been up here the entirety of the second half. You're 5 right now as Smart knocks down an elbow jumper to make it 8. You're 5 right now. Horford, Tatum, Morris, Smart, Rozier. Is that your closing 5? Are these the 5 you want to ride with the rest of the way, or are you getting Brown back in the game or Hayward back in the game?
Hayward's getting up right now. I'm kind of caught between Morris and Hayward. I know people have grown frustrated with Hayward.
Yeah.
I've tried to keep it somewhat realistic. I think, as Paul George told us all, it's going to take about a year to a year and a half before he starts feeling somewhat normal. But I think Hayward is the best option. in the final 5 minutes if he can give you, 75, 80% of Hayward.
I don't like that shot from Morris.
Yeah, because I just like Hayward more because I think Hayward can do more with the basketball. I think he gives up a little bit more, even though I think Morris defensively has struggled over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Hayward's versatility offensively gives you more than Morris. He's not as ISO heavy. And if he's back to 75, 80% of Hayward, I'm rolling with Hayward. Now, if you tell me he looks like 50% Hayward and it's dependent on the night,
right,
then I'm probably going with Brown or Moore.
So who did Hayward just come in for Rozier? Is that who he just replaced?
Let me see. You got Tatum. Yeah, I think so. You got Tatum, Morris, Horford, Hayward, and Smart.
Yeah, I thought I already saw Rozier out. Anyway, so I noticed you didn't bring up. Okay, so now we got Baines too.
So is Baines out there?
Baines is in for Morris. So Hayward and Baines just came in. Morris and Rozier just went out. So
the white tag team.
Say it again.
The white guy tag team. You got Baines and you got Hayward in the end.
Exactly. So I noticed. I mean, well, neither of us brought up Baines. I noticed you didn't bring up Jalen to close. Not a fan of that idea either.
Well, if we're talking playoffs,
I'm talking this game right now.
Oh, this game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with Hayward. Again, I get concerned about Jalen's lapses. I think when your team is playing the way the Celtics have been playing, which has been inconsistent and rocky, you need guys that you can trust. And as much as defensively from time to time, and as much as he doesn't look like the old Hayward, again, I'll give him I'll give him until next year, until about January or February before I start saying, oh, he's toast. I think you see flashes. But I need guys in the final 5 minutes of a game that I can trust. They know where they're supposed to be. They're not trying to do too much. They're willing to share the basketball. And I think sometimes Brown still, to this point, it's been this since his rookie year, he gets ahead of himself. And that's defensively, he tries to gamble at times. He'll get hung up on screens. So when you're talking about what you have out there right now, like I wouldn't have – I know why they have Baines out there right now. They're trying to go double big because the Cavs have Nance and they have Kevin Love.
Yeah.
I could kind of live without Baines, but I don't hate this lineup right now. The question is, what would you do, Jonesy? Like, let's say if Irving –
Jalen to me is closing in this game tonight. He should be. But, yeah, your logic is probably why Brad doesn't go with it. I don't love that. I mean, while Jalen may not be consistent, there's also just so much more upside. And, maybe consistency will beat the Cavs. Like, they're overmatched. But I like the idea of, especially when Kyrie's out, like, if you're not going to use Jalen in a game to close when Kyrie's out, when are you using him? Celtics are getting some nice open misses here, which, again, speaks to a little bit of the Cavaliers. By the way, question, and it doesn't necessarily tie in with the game, but we've gotten a few of these, and I was wondering this earlier. Your thoughts on the Cavaliers uniforms? You thumbs up or thumbs? Ooh, you a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
You were ahead on me on that. I was wondering what you were. Woo! That was a nice leave by Tatum.
It wasn't about the uniforms. It was that alley-oop. But are you a thumbs up or a thumbs down on those unis?
I feel like I'm a thumbs down.
Okay, you got some people in the chat who are going to disagree with you. Both Jeff and Kelly are really giving these jerseys some heat.
They're thumbs up.
I like them better than their current jersey. Let me put it to you like that. I like these better than their current jerseys. I really love what the Cavs wore in like Mark Price, Brad Doherty days. Like those were nice with the little like basketball hoop with the powder blue. Yeah. If you could get those back, now we're talking.
So how about this? We've got a couple of people weighing in here. We got Ron, we got Adam. Mm-hmm. Adam says looking for a word better than diva, talking about Jaylen Brown. And Ron, he suggested super douche diva. Do you like that better? The super douche diva? Is that better than – I feel like that's more effective.
I feel like that's more reserved for Kyrie. I feel like I would save that more for Kyrie than Jaylen.
So let me ask you. So you asked me. I remember we were on the air. Yep. We broke the Kyrie Irving trade.
We were on the air when that happened. Yes, correct. Yes.
So how do you feel about Kyrie? Because I think both of us at the time, we said this is the deal to make. Yep. This makes sense. He's a superstar. He has a higher ceiling. If you got to give the Brooklyn pick to get the player, that's what you do. Have you changed?
No. So, I mean, on the trade, I'm still fine with the trade. I still think they should have made the trade 100 times out of 100. I still want them to keep Kyrie, and I feel like a lot of the issues with Kyrie, good thing they got Baines in there just to give up layups at the other end. I think
to get underneath his crotch on his forehead.
Yeah, that's why you got to get Baines in there, Stevens. Good call. So I think if Kyrie committed and like signed that's a terrible shot. You can back me up. That's a terrible shot.
He's done it. He's done it a few times, especially in the last few weeks. I just feel like he's launching early in the shot clock. And then
travel.
You can get that 3, and then you give up a fucking dunk on the other end.
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. You've got a bad shot by Smart. You can get that 3 that Smart just took at any time in this game and in the shot clock, and then you give up a dunk, and now you get a Smart turnover. You've seen these things happen. On the other end, you get a foul. So this is when people want to know why the Celtics aren't playing as well as they could play. This is the shit that happens. Like you take a bad 3 on one end, you give up a dunk on the other end, you come back and you turn the basketball over.
Yeah.
You turn the basketball over on one end, and now you're going to give up free throws on the other end. These are swings. That's the difference. Now, fortunately, Jordan Clarkson's a fucking pig. But when you've got like those swings of momentum in games,
yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Their shot selection is just so shitty. Like and Smart and Morris and Kyrie when he plays, and Kyrie at least can make those shots, and those other guys will chuck them in every once and then.
Right.
There's my guy. I never doubted Marcus Smart. Never doubted him.
But why don't you do that more? You have Jordan Clarkson has never played defense in his life.
Yeah. I don't know what Usman was doing there either. Usman kind of let him turn the corner nice and easy. So, yeah.
Well, he's European, so he's filling that role.
But yeah, their shot selection really bothers me in stretches, and Smart's at the center of it. That was a nice 3-point play and a big 3-point play. But yes, his shot selection bothers me. Just to close the loop while we got it up to 9 here, and let's see if the Celtics can grab this. Smart does. Loose ball foul. Loose ball foul. So we got Celtics basketball. I'll answer your question on Irving. I honestly think if they got Kyrie to commit to a long-term deal, this offseason, which who knows? I mean, maybe he'll want to do the 1-and-1 thing that all these superstars do, and then you're right back in the same spot. I think a lot of their problems stem from people don't know if Kyrie's 1 foot in or 1 foot out. People don't know if Kyrie's committed or just playing everyone and just going to New York or going to wherever, going to play with LeBron, probably not, but wherever he wants to go, right? I think that would solve a lot of their issues. I'm still on them keeping Kyrie long-term. I still want them to sign him this offseason, but I will say I've soured quite a bit, and I'm more and more intrigued by the day when the team tends to underachieve with him in the lineup and overachieve with him out of the lineup. I'm more and more intrigued by the day of just going with Tatum and Jalen and kind of having that the core of your team. But I still, at the end of the day, want Kyrie here, even though I'm wavering more and more on it. I still want him here and want him here long term.
I feel like, I don't know if this will make sense or not, but I look at Kyrie and I think they're better with Kyrie, and we have to watch the postseason. But inevitably, especially long term, Kyrie, I think they're better off. But the way I put it is, if you asked me that question like 6 months ago, I would say they can't lose Kyrie. I would be shook if they lost Kyrie. Yep. Now, to me, it's not the end of the world, if that makes sense. I don't feel like it's the end all be all if they lost Kyrie. Now, I think they could be better. What I'm wondering is, and I wonder, I don't know obviously what the feedback is up there in Boston, but I do wonder what this team will look like. Let's say Kyrie signs that long-term deal, and we know all the Anthony Davis stuff, right? All those rumors.
Yep.
See, that's a nice play by Marcus right there.
I mean, that is a nice play. Offensive. Next not going to love it.
And then there's Marcus Morris charging right on cue.
You think that's a call?
I don't know. I got to see it. I got to see it again.
I hate block. We got a replay on NBC Sports Boston. Usman's got a foot in the circle.
All right, I'm getting my replay here. Hold on.
He's got a foot.
Cleveland's a little bit late because they know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see.
Foot in the circle.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Both heels in the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder how people feel. I wonder, I don't think the team construction was great. I know what people thought going into the year, which was, oh, this team made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie and Hayward. Now you add them. I think people took that for granted. And you have a lot of talent. And you have a lot of ego,
but it didn't. And it wasn't built to mesh. See, I agree with you on that. And just quickly. Well, let's give you the.
Have you noticed that you agree a lot more with me via FanCred than you ever did when we were in 95?
You're so far away. I don't have to worry about like getting strangled or anything like that. So
me throwing my headset down and shit like that.
So quickly, let's give you the full fourth quarter live experience here on FanCred. We do have someone on the fan line. It is Robbie in Somerville. And I'm not sure where Robbie wants to go. Maybe, Nick, you want to ask the fans some stuff. Maybe you can bounce a question off him that you were asking. But, Robbie, what do you want to jump in on here with like a minute left in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, so beyond this game, the inconsistencies with this team has been brutal all season long. You know, one question for you guys is, I know there's 56 seconds left. Who is the biggest to blame here? Because I feel like Kyrie, you know, obviously he's had his issues chemistry-wise with this team, but don't you think a lot goes on Brad Stevens? Because at the end of the day, he's the head coach and he's playing these guys.
So, Nick, I do. I'm curious to get your thoughts. I do think Brad holds a big responsibility.
I think saying big might be a little too much. I think, you know, listen, he's not completely blameless, but ultimately NBA is a players' league, right? And so I feel like when you have talent like he has this year, it's up to the guys to try to piece it and figure it out. You can only do so much as coach, right? So I think it's kind of strange. With the underdog status, a lot of credit goes to Brad, and I think that's because he makes it work. He fits a lot of clunky pieces together. He's the motivator. He gets those guys into it. But this is the first time he's had such a talented team like this, and that brings a whole different set of challenges. And I think it's pretty difficult to blame most of this on Brad. It's a players' league. These guys are veterans. They're grown-ups. They're grown-ass men. And they got to figure out how to, you know, Brad can't make you defend. He can tell you to defend. He can't make you defend.
It's true. That is true. I'll tell you what. How about that? Robbie?
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us a little luck there on the fan line. Cattles, 1-0. Thinking man emoji with Nick Cattles and myself here on fourth quarter live on FanCred. Are we going to see more of you here on FanCred?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We got to, and hopefully something controversial happens so you and I could go at each other. Because I feel like
this was a little mundane. It was a little mundane, if we're being honest. Yeah.
It was like a first date, but like between two people that dated for a while and they haven't seen each other. Then they get back together for that first date, and you're kind of
analogy. Sure. Yeah. Oh, no. What are you gonna do? So anyway, I think we're going to see more Nick Cattles here on fourth quarter live. Let's see if you want. We can make sure that you guys check us out on FanCred. Follow us on FanCred. Stay tuned to FanCred for our next broadcast as we just wrapped up here with the Celtics beating the Cavaliers. Cattles, we will talk to you down the line. Have a great rest of your night, and check us out here on Fourth Quarter Live.
All right, guys. See you.